My name is Bo Call, Division of Air Quality. I manage the air monitoring section within the Division of Air Quality. The section monitors all the air pollutants throughout the state. So our primary season we're concerned about is really latter part of November through end of February, middle of March. And this year's season was awesome. We didn't have any days of violation anywhere except for Smithfield, and those really weren't very high. One of the biggest problems we have during the winter are lengthy inversion periods, and it's been several years since we've had really lengthy inversion periods. This past winter we were in a cycle of every 3 or 4 days we would have a storm come through, whether it was to give us rain or snow or just a little bit of wind to blow things out. That all helps and contributes to flushing out the pollution so that we don't rise to the levels of concern. Now that we've met the standard and EPA has redesignated us to attainment, then that means that we still have to be vigilant and not go over the standard, but we don't have to continue to come up and try to find ways to reduce pollution more. The plans that we have in place look like they're going to work, and as we go forward, the models show that our numbers should continue to decrease a bit. In order to determine whether or not we meet the standard or we don't meet the standard, we have to monitor all the time and in lots of different places. So the air monitoring section is tasked with that responsibility. We operate about 20 monitoring stations scattered throughout the state right now, and those monitoring stations are in place to monitor the various air pollutants. We typically monitor PM 2.5, PM 10, ozone, NOx, at most places, and SO2 and carbon monoxide at a few places. All those measurements are taken and they're used by the state and by EPA to determine that we are still meeting the standard or that we aren't meeting the standard. If we see that we are not meeting the standard, then we can take action to try and do something that will get us back on the path to meeting the standard. Individuals can always make choices that affect air pollution. Probably the biggest one is if you're in the market for a new or newer vehicle, choose one that pollutes less than one that doesn't. If you have multiple vehicles, choosing to drive the one that pollutes less is probably a choice you can make that will help the air. You know, you may like driving that old pickup truck because it's a nice pickup truck, but it probably pollutes more than a new economy car, so drive the new economy car whenever you can. Well, now that the particulate season's over, we're just getting geared up for the ozone season, and oftentimes a good particulate season can mean an increased ozone season, so we're ever mindful of that, and we'll be looking for that in the coming months. We have a mobile app. You can check our web pages for current conditions. The mobile app is Utah Air. It's available on both your platforms, iOS or Android, and that can tell you what your air quality is nearest you. So when you do choose to go out, you can do it on days that the air is clean, and you can pay attention to those days when it might be elevated or it might become elevated and take whatever precautions are necessary for you individually.